Hi, I'm Felipa, and today is day 73 of days 365 of completing this Bible. So, yesterday we ended on this section here where Solomon was succeeded by Rehoboam, his son. And today I'm on chapter 12. I'm still in Kings. And it says that the Israelites ask Rehoboam to lighten their burdens. So basically, they say, hey, your dad made our lives pretty difficult. Please, give us a break. He asks for advice from the men who gave counsel to his dad Solomon, and they said to him, it says that they said to him, be good to those people and make their lives better. But he ignores them, and he speaks to the young men that he's grown up with. And they actually say here in verse 11, it says, "And now, whereas my father did lade you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father hath chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions." And so basically he speaks to the people, and he says, I'm going to make your lives worse. And the people obviously are very unhappy. Then there are the 10 tribes that revolt against Rehoboam and make Jeroboam their king. And this is kind of exactly what God had said would happen through that prophet sometime in last chapter. And so people, of course, are unhappy with Rehoboam's, governance over them. And it says here in chapter or verse 22, it says, "But the word of God came unto Shemaiah, the man of God, saying, Speak unto Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and unto all the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Ye shall not go up nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearkened therefore to the word of the Lord, and returned to depart according to the word of the Lord." And so this is back when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, and it was to bring the kingdom again to the son of Solomon. And so now Jeroboam sets up an idol worship at Israel, at Bethel and Dan, and so he does worse than all the other kings and David, and he makes 2 calves of gold. He gets people to pray to these calves, and he even makes up the altar and the sacrifice on a day of his own choosing. So that's a big no-no against God, and God's unhappy. And it says Jeroboam's hand withers as his altar splits apart. So now that he's been made king, the God's really angry with him, and God sends down a man of God out of Judah, and he says to Jeroboam, he says, you're creating all these bad things. And it says the altar shall be rent, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. And when Jeroboam hears this saying, it says he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, Lay hold on him. And his hand, which he put forth against him, dried up, so he could not pull it in again. So essentially, his hand disappears. And he cries to this man, and he says, No, please give me back. Pray to the God for me, and help me get my hand back. And it says, And the man of God besought the Lord, and the king's hand was restored him again and became as it was before. So the next few sections, I'm going to kind of summarize real quick, because there's just some historical accounts that aren't mentioned throughout all these sections, but they're just more individually mentioned here and there. And so this man of God that we just saw spoke to Jeroboam. He goes on his way. God tells him not to eat or drink anything. But then there was an old prophet in Bethel who goes to him, and he lies to him, and he says, you can come to my house. I'm a man of God as well, and an angel told me to come talk to you, and you can eat and drink at my house. And the man does this, but then the word of the Lord comes through the guy who told him he can come into his house. And it says that because you disobeyed the Lord of the mouth and not kept your commandments not to eat or drink, you're going to die. And that man is slain by a lion. Jeroboam also sends his wife disguised to the prophet Ahijah, who is actually blind and quite old. And because Jeroboam knows he's not necessarily favored by God, he sends his wife to plead to the prophet to help them heal their child. But God speaks through Ahijah, and he says, Jeroboam's wife's going to come by. She's going to pretend to be somebody else. And you need to tell her that I am about to bring all of the evil possible upon Jeroboam and all of Israel. And also, as soon as she gets home, their child will die. And that's exactly what happens. And then we have this section here where it says Rehoboam's evil reigns over the southern kingdom of Judah. And then basically how he has sons whose evil reigns over Israel and over Judah. And we end on this section here where it says that evil reigned over all the kingdom of Israel. And we end on saying that in the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab the son of Omri to reign over Israel. And Ahab the son of Omri reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years. And basically it just says, in his days did Heel the Bethelite build Jericho. He laid the foundation thereof in Abiram his firstborn, and set up the gates therefore in his young son Segub, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by Joshua the son of Nun. And so all these things are essentially the sons of Rehoboam who end up doing evil, just like he did and Jeroboam did. So it's just all these sons who are continuing to rule over Israel and not in the ways of how God established it. And so today is day 73. Tomorrow I'm on chapter 17, and we start with the prophet Elijah is fed by ravens. And so it's quite sad to kind of see this, massive section of success of David and then Solomon, and then now things are falling apart again for Israel. So I will let you know what I learned tomorrow. Thank you for listening.